know who you are and what is your relation to Andrew Stark and why you felt compelled to nominate him.
So my name is Kim Taylor. I'm the Customer Experience Director for Flight Centre Travel Group. I've worked with Andrew for many, many years as a direct report, sometimes not as a direct report, but he's played a big part in my life. I just feel as an MD, there's certain things that you need to display as a leader, but I really feel that Andrew, over the past 9 to 10 months during COVID, has really gone above and beyond as a leader within our business. And not only within our business, within the industry, to always advocate for greater flexibility for our customers. Within our business, he's just been a phenomenal leader in terms of his clear, transparent, honest communication, always making sure that we are well taken care of and supported, and really trying to elevate our thinking in terms of this new COVID world and what that means for travel.
And how has that inspired you to perhaps give a hand up or lift others?
So really, that's inspired me to think differently about our customer. So I've always worked with our customer within Flight Centre Travel Group. And I think Andrew's sort of leadership and guidance has made me think differently about how I engage with our customer. So we've kind of, and he always says, thrown the playbook or the rule book out the window, and you've got to think and feel the same as what customers are feeling in terms of uncertainty. What does travel look like? Is it safe to travel? And just show a bit more flexibility and empathy. And I think that's just helped me lift our customers up, understanding when they come through and they ask for a refund, where's my refund, why is it delayed, understanding the very real concerns they have around finances, and supporting them wherever we can. And also just lifting others around me. I think COVID has taught us, life is short. And living through a global pandemic, it's very uncertain. So just being that extra bit kind to everyone around you and supporting where you can.
Andrew Stark.
Sorry.
All good.
I didn't know it was going to be a video. I would have not shaved. I'm not shaving. This is my new look.
You look fine.
Awesome. See, is that fine?
Yeah, you look good.
Lifting it up a bit. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's go.
Right. Let me just close the window. Sorry, Natalia.
No worries. All good.
And also look at this, smart at the top, casual at the bottom.
Hey, at least you're not wearing your PJs.
I'm sure you've had that as well.
Oh, yeah. I've had everything. Did you see the video with the lawyer and the cat filter last week?
No.
You didn't see the cat filter? Andrew, this brought me so much joy last week. I think I watched it 3 times. I'm going to send it to you. You will thank me. You will thank me.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Okay. Cat filter to Andrew. You're going to love it. Right. So, Andrew Stark, tell me a little bit about who you are and how you got to be in the role that you're in at the moment, your journey in travel, if you will.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah, my name is Andrew Stark. I'm the MD for Flight Centre Travel Group South Africa and Dubai. How did I get into the travel industry? Well, my mom was actually in the travel industry many, many years ago. Jet International, I think it was. And for whatever reason, I thought I'd follow in her footsteps. One of my school tours, we'd traveled to New Zealand to play rugby, been on airplanes, got seconded out to a family, and I sort of liked this concept of travel. And I got back, and literally, to be honest with you, I wasn't really good at school. I probably got E for enough. Sort of decided to do a travel and tourism diploma, which I absolutely excelled in. I loved it. And from there, one of my mom's previous managers got me a job at, I can't even remember the name now. Come to me, Cheryl Werner. I think unfortunately she's passed, and started off in travel. And then from there, moved into World Leisure Holidays with a fantastic leader, Sean Hoff. And then from World Leisure Holidays, a bit of a stint in Rennies for a couple of months, and then back then into Flight Centre. And Sue Garrett gave me the opportunity to work back there. There for a year and a bit doing corporate sales, and then landed back up at World Leisure Holidays, where Sean's economy back there. and then Dale White's economy back to Flight Centre Travel Group. And I haven't looked back, and that's been 16 years in product and marketing for a number of years, and then seconded to New Zealand with Flight Centre Travel Group for a number of years, and then came back in 2010, just as the FIFA Soccer World Cup was happening. Fantastic time to come back. New roads, new infrastructure, Ubuntu feeling. Shabalala scoring the goal against Mexico, thinking we're going to win the World Cup, and back here. And in that time, I've held a number of roles in Flight Centre Travel Group across corporate, leisure, and products and marketing, and being my role now for 6 years.
And tell me a little bit about a day in the life of Andrew. What does that look like?
Oh, yeah, it's good. It's busy. I've got a family. I've got three young kids, 8, 5, and yeah. So from a family perspective, I try and balance that. I'm generally up at sort of very early, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Generally try to get a 8 to 10K run in at least 3 to 4 times a week, because I think, a healthy body is a healthy mind. And then, yeah, my day starts. I try and make sure my mantra is I get back to people, no matter who you are, within the same day, be it email or be it phone calls. Set up my meetings. I like to rather engage with people. As I was saying before this interview, this week we've been back in the office for a week, and I've got office fatigue, because we're not used to actually getting to a car and setting up face-to-face meetings again. But generally my days spent with people, solving problems, and helping us grow our business. We are, Flight Centre Travel Group has always been about growth. We're in unprecedented times now where it's not all about growth, it's about cost preservation, cash preservation, supply preservation, all non-sexy stuff around business, which I sometimes struggle with, but I've got great people around me, that certainly ensure that we do look after that part of the business, but I'm generally always looking for opportunities to grow.
So you on your LinkedIn have a statement, is it culture eats strategy for breakfast? Tell me about that. Tell me about why that's important to you.
Well, I mean, it's not it comes from a book, and it's always stuck with me. And why it is that, like I said, I sort of don't perceive myself as a smart individual. I think I'm a streetwise person that really understands people, understand how to, how do I get the best out of people? How do I create a following? How do I create a story and a vision? And then from there, it's all about a following a well-adapted culture. I suppose I could get a group of people to do anything without a strategy if I've got the buy-in. And I think, I think that's something I've strived hard, and why I love working for a company like Flight Centre Travel Group. It's a very unique culture. And the culture, no matter where you go around the world, is exactly the same. So the DNA is there. And I think the DNA is very important. You can't waver from your beliefs and the way you want to lead and run businesses. The DNA is cemented in. And I think for me, strategy should be nimble, and they should change over time. If I think about our strategy before COVID, it's very different to the strategy we have now. And generally we would have had a 5-year strategy. Now the strategy in the COVID period is 6 to 12 month strategies. They're short, they're nimble, and they're fast. But coupled with that, we've made very tough decisions over the last year, where unfortunately we had to retrench 462 flightees under no fault of their own. We're under the pressures that we are. And I'm very thankful that under that process we've had no comebacks. And the reason for that is because our culture is strong and we have personal relations with our people. And I explained to every single one of them who was involved in the process, this was not any fault of your own that we're going through this mess. And I hope to re-employ you when the industry recovers. And again, a good example there that our people come first. Our culture will bulldoze anything more, sort of the trajectory where we want to get to far quicker than smart strategies and smart business plans in order to get there. And a good example of it is many sporting teams. You can have the best coach with the best attacking strategy on how to get across the goal line. But if the culture of the team's not there, where they don't believe in each other, they don't trust each other, they don't buy into one another, and they don't believe the people around them are the very best people in their roles, that's want to get us across the line. you don't have your strategy is not going to work. It might look good on paper, but it's not going to work. It's not going to get along across the line. And for me, culture over strategy has worked for me as a leader over there. I think that's importantly back what works for you over the last 6 years. We've managed to grow year on year in unprecedented times. And even in a time like this, we're looking for the small green shoots that there are, because you have to. You wouldn't sleep if you have to think about all the negativity that's around us right now. You've got to look for the green shoots. And yeah, I'm a firm believer in it, and it's worked well for me, and I can continue on that mantra.
You were nominated as a superlifter. I'm interested, did you have a superlifter in your life? Who was it and why?
Yeah, so firstly, as you say, I'm humbled by that. So thank you. I mean, you don't think you're going to be a superlifter, and you don't think you're going to have an interview like this that's recorded. So yeah, I've had many, and I think Natalia, I've had many. The first one, certainly for me was Sean Hoff. He gave me an opportunity in a time when no one else did. Sue Garrett, same thing. Dale White, same thing. Janine Salami, same thing. Rick Hamilton, same thing. There's many, and that's from a business perspective. And then I've got my superlifters. I think I have to say this, otherwise I get killed. But Kirst, my wife's a superlifter. She's fantastic. She's a good sounding board. And as you climb the corporate ladder, I always say you get invited to less bras, and it gets a little bit colder at the top. And she's been great support specifically over this period. I've had really, really bad days where I've also, I'm a human being, and I do, sort of have an emotional outlet to her, and she's been good to lift me up and make me see those things, because I think when you're leading a large organization of hundreds and hundreds of people, they do look for you for the motivation, the continuous motivation, upliftment. So yeah, I've got that across, from business colleagues that I've worked with. Kirst, my kids are fantastic as well. My kids are continuously uplifting you. Sometimes they drive you crazy. Sometimes you can't, so you look for an avenue. But they're fantastic, and they just put perspective to things. My best example of it is, I remember Jack one day, we were going to the movies, and he said, "Dad, we're going to have some of that doggy juice." And I said, "What do you mean doggy juice?" And then really what it was meaning was a slush puppy, but he literally took slush puppy and called it doggy juice. And you look at it, that literally, kids are literal, and they put things in perspective sometimes, and they just keep things simple. And I think that's also something, for me, so going back to your question previously, is that I've also have a mantra of just keeping things simple, and our CEO, Graham Turner, is a phenomenal individual. And he keeps saying, if you create strategies and business plans and actions that you cannot clearly articulate to the newest person in your organization, they're too complicated. Keep things simple. And Shane Flynn, who's also probably one of those who've uplifted, also giving us all opportunity. He used to also say, business is simple. People complicate business. So I think the simplicity around that is also important. So kids certainly keep things simple, and they certainly ground you as well. So I've got many uplifters, family, friends as well, many, and it's good to have them.
So for someone within your organization, and there were probably many of them, one came to the fore and nominated you officially, what would you say to them as their superlifter to inspire them to give a hand up to others and to lift others as you have done for them?
Yeah. The thing is, I think you always have to look for the positive. You always got to look for those green shoots, like I mentioned. And there's always someone that is in a worse off position than what you are. And we live in a country like South Africa where there's night and day between impoverishment and poverty, food on the table, and I think you look around it's everywhere around us as well. So I think I think also you got to drill down into exactly what will uplift people. Different things uplift different people. It's not all about financial rewards. It's not all about growth. It's not all about. Sometimes it's about just getting in touch, the personality, personable side to it. So I think there's many aspects. I don't think there's an exact science to it, but I think you want to, as long as your values are there, you have honesty, integrity, self-belief. You genuinely want what's best for the people around you and for bigger society, and your contributions do make a difference. South Africans always say that as well. I'm not going to vote because what does my vote? Every small contribution makes a difference. And my team will always resonate with me with this, is that just keep chipping away, keep chipping away, keep chipping away. And, yeah, I suppose I can mumble on you for long periods of time, but I think, you just got to, number one, your objective is you want to uplift people because you've got a sense of uplifting people yourself. Hopefully I've answered it.
Last question for you, Andrew, and that's, somebody who, as you said, sits at the pinnacle of within an industry, and our industry is so vast. It's everything from a tourist guide to a reservationist at a hotel, to a driver, to somebody who operates a hotel, to someone like you who runs a big travel company. And we're all in a space, as you said earlier, might not be a good space, but always looking at the positives. What could you say to your peers across the industry, no matter whether you're a tourist guide, driver, or somebody who runs a hotel, to give them a little bit of hope for the next, I think, tough 8 to 10 months that we're about to go into?
Yeah, I think for all of us, this time last year we had a travel expo on. We were selling millions and millions of rands worth of travel. Couple of weeks later, our offices were locked down. Everyone's income got down to zero. And if you think of where we were then, despair, the anxiety, the disbelief, whether we were all going to survive this. And think about it today, let's all pinch ourselves. We're still around, we're still here. We've made it through 12 months. And I think what we've also got is we've got 12 months of experience. We've got COVID experience now. We've got crisis management experience under our belts. And I think there's far less of the unknown that we can look forward to over the next 12 months. We're in a far better position than we were this time last year. We have a vaccine. It's in South Africa. It's going into arms. If you travel within South Africa, there's very little COVID protocols other than mask wearing and sanitization, which I think makes the world a cleaner place. Let's look for the positives. But one thing that is in our control is domestic travels here, and domestic travel is here for the next 12 months. I've resigned myself to the fact that if international travel comes back in 2021 or the latter part of 2021, that's the cream on the top. But I've resigned myself to the fact that we probably only look at proper international travel in 2022. So the next year, we're well prepared. We know what we're in for. Whether you're going to survive this is out of the question. You've got the financial means to do that, hopefully across the board. And if you think about it, we have been so resilient. We've had STA is the only travel company that's seen, and maybe one or others, which is very sad, but the core group of our colleagues and suppliers have survived. And let's continue to persevere and survive. And we've got to do this collectively. But we've got to rely on local travel, our local customers, South Africans. Thank God we've got a market here of 60 million South Africans, and there's a fair market there that will travel domestically. So control what's in your control, focus on how you can possibly move the dial, and let's all collectively work towards that. And as an industry, I unprecedentedly, do call up my competitors from time to time and check in on them. And I think we've got to do more of that. And I think we've got to keep checking in with our suppliers. I feel for some of our suppliers that only sell Mauritius or only sell the Far East, and they don't have necessarily a local market. What are we doing so let's all collectively stay in touch. We all need each other. It's not about dog eat dog in this period. It's about survival of the industry, and we need all of us to survive. That when we do start climbing out of this later part of 2021 or early parts of 2022, we do it proudly and we do it collectively, and we look back at each other and we can give each other a tap on the back and say, yes, we got through it. And my God, it was difficult, but and we all become stronger in it, because at the end of the day, we will have less customers. We will have a smaller market for a period of time, and we all got to survive off that market probably for the next 3 to 5 years.
Build back better. That's the way forward.
Absolutely.
Andrew Stark, thank you for being a Superlifter.
Thanks.